In today's use case, we are going to deep dive into projects. Now, before watching this video, I would like to urge you to go and watch the previous use cases because they are the building blocks leading up to setting up a Wamly project. Now, what is a project? A project is our label in the Wamly system that you would typically think of as a job or a vacancy. It is where everything gets set up so that you can launch a project, activate candidates to actually come in and then answer your questions so that you're able to watch the videos, comment, score, and review. So for a project to be set up, there are three elements that you need to think about before you set up a project. These are the building blocks leading up to project setup. And those are: who will be the panel? What questions am I asking them? And what knockout questions from a form perspective will I be using so that I can filter on the form fields before I watch the video? So just a use case and some contextual analysis around where to use projects. Wamly is currently being used in three ways, the project. For some clients, Wamly is the first place where a candidate applies. So they do not have an applicant tracking system and they are not running a manual process where candidates are submitting their CVs into a dedicated inbox, and then from there Wamly becomes step 2 or step 3 in the process. So the first use case is a project gets created. Every project has got a project link. And then this project link gets shared with the job ad on the various job boards, and the candidate actually clicks on the link. And this is the place where they submit their information to come into your hiring process. Please note that if you decide to go that route, if you use Wamly project setup and the link in that way, it is extremely important that you think about the messaging in your ad. Why? Because one-way video interview is so new, and not a lot of candidates actually expect when they apply for a role by clicking on a link to do a one-way interview. Why? Because the majority of candidates by applying or clicking on a button apply expect to either upload a CV or complete an application form. Whereas in Wamly, if you click the link as a candidate, you're going to watch an intro video, you're going to complete a form, and you are going to answer an interview guide set of questions, which was discussed in the previous use case. And so the messaging is really, really important. Please make mention that by clicking on this link, we will be gathering your information and you will be doing a one-way interview. So have a shirt on, be in an environment where you are ready to answer questions. Make sure it's safe and quiet around you. The phone is switched off, the door is closed, the kids are in bed, whatever you would like to communicate to the candidates. That's really important. So that's the first piece of insight I want to share with you and the first way clients are using Wamly projects. However, the majority of our clients, as I mentioned in previous videos, will have their own attraction strategy. So what does that mean? They will get information and CVs or names of candidates that they would consider for a role by themselves, using agencies, job boards, a dedicated inbox if you're still running your process manually, and then Wamly becomes step 2 in the process. So what would happen is because you've already set up your form, you set up your interview guide, you shot your intro video, and you know who the panel is, you are now ready to set up a Wamly project. So a Wamly project setup consists of 5 steps: settings, email templates, allocating your panel, picking your interview guide, as well as your form. Now, I'm not going to deep dive into the technical aspects of that. There is a separate training session and modules around how each of these sections and steps work. Please refer to those if you're brand new in the Wamlyverse and you would like to understand how to do that. This use case is to share with you, if Wamly is step 2 in your process, so we just discussed step 1, where Wamly becomes the place where you apply. If Wamly is step 2 in your process, then you would have your shortlist, and now you're ready to navigate them through a Wamly project. So in Wamly, you would come and set up your project, you would add all of those elements, and then you would end up adding the candidates. Why? Because you know who they are. They came through an email inbox with CVs, or they exist in your applicant tracking system. And because you don't want to phone them, you don't want to set up traditional interviews, like I've discussed in previous videos, why you would not want to do that because of time and efficiency, you are now ready to navigate them through a Wamly project. And so you would set up your project. The project would create an invitation email. All the candidates will get an invitation mail with a specific link, and on any device, including mobile, they will click on that link, They will go through the Wamly journey, submit their information, and you, the panel, will then get a notification that the candidates have completed the interview process and you are now ready to rate and comment and score. So that is the most popular way clients are using projects. You have your shortlist, the candidates go to Wamly. By you being self-sufficient, you set up a project and you actually get those candidates in. If I go into an existing project like this, I just want to show you, and this is the second part of the use case around scoring, rating, and commenting, and some insights that I would like you to know. So once a candidate comes in, you're able to click on that candidate. And when I say you, the panel, and you will land on a page like this, where you're able to start your rating. Now, please note, if you added more than one panel member, rating happens completely objectively and independently of the other panel members. That is another fundamental building block in terms of best practice that we built into Wamly, so that you can't influence each other by seeing what the other panel members commented and scored. So you would click play. The video would actually come up of the candidate answering the specific question, and then you would be able to comment and give scores. From a technical perspective, as I said, please refer back to how this is done, but just some insights around the commenting and the scoring. It is very important in your organization that you actually have an internal conversation around how do we score? What does good look like? And a lot of times hiring managers and HR believe that they can use their intuition, which at times is true, but specifically for the technical questions in your interview guide, you would like your line managers to zoom into those. For the HR related questions, of course, talent acquisition and HR, you can zoom into those answers of the candidate. But then ultimately you are commenting and scoring, and then you're left with a final rating and a final comment. You can see here in this example, yes, we want to see him as the candidate. Now, when the panel is done, there is a section called View Ratings, where the owner of the project, which is typically HR, you will have a high-level overview, a report card on all the final comments of your panel members, where you then can see what did every panel member say about Francois, the candidate. And then this is downloadable in a report, which you can then share back to the panel. Now, that's really important to do because obviously you want to close the loop and understand what to do with Francois next. Of course, on the dashboard, Wamly will calculate how many yeses, nos, or maybes this specific candidate got from all the panel members, which will already give you a good indication of, am I moving forward with Francois? Am I rejecting Francois? Is there alignment between the panel members? And that's then where this report is very useful, because you can download that, distribute it back to the panel, and then have an internal conversation in a forum to decide, okay, these are the top candidates. Are we inviting them for an interview, a second round interview, a face-to-face interview? Who are we rejecting? Who are we putting on ice or on hold or in a talent pool? And that's then where the conversation then flows from there. So that's some insights into projects. If you're unsure, you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to us. You can contact us via your account manager or reach us on the website. Thank you for listening to Project Setup and how to use projects. Have a great day.